Goal girls. All right. And we have our beautiful, wonderful Trisha Bless on here tonight with me too. All right. Yeah. We love the days that we get to work from our offices and have great things happen. So it's beautiful. Look at all those ribbons for Trisha Bless back there. She's been doing a lot of training today. Like, oh my goodness, you had a booking one already today for your national area. That is super exciting. And a lot of you are headed out to the Wisconsin Leadership Huddle tomorrow because you're in a red jacket or higher. And so you will be heading over there and having great, great training tomorrow also. So tonight we're going to be talking about team building. Tomorrow will be just you guys hopping on and going live. My assistant's going to be watching and approving your live messages. Pick your favorite product and share with us what your favorite product is and how do you demo that. Now, here, I love to give my whys behind why I'm having you do this. You might be like, great, I did not sign up to do a live on any group. Just to let you know, that is not my gifting. It's okay. It gets you braver. It gets you bolder. And this is a safe group to practice your live videos in, this group right here. Now, maybe you're using one of our apps in Mary Kay and it is working for you. We want to know that. We want to know how you use it and how you gain customers, or maybe how you sell more product because of that. So that we want to hear from you. You are a leader. And if you could just write that on the top of your paper tonight, is I am a leader. You lead. You probably lead your house. You probably lead something within an organization in your community. You probably, you lead and you don't even realize it. I want you to think highly enough of yourself that you can come on here and you can influence another Mary Kay Beauty consultant to love your product, the one that you love the most, or to use the app and to build more customers like that. So, okay, so that's tomorrow. Tonight we are going to go into team building, and we have Trisha Bless on here tonight. Trisha recruited 35 people this past seminar year. 35 new team members on her team. I know you do a lot of virtual, you do a lot of in person. You've got both happening. She said her sweet spot is layering people. And so I'm going to start out here with Mary Kay Ash. I was trained by Mary Kay Ash as a brand new sales director. Mary Kay ran our seminars. She was there. She was teaching and training when I was a director. I know probably with Lisa Ralph also. She got to learn from Mary Kay Ash. Mary Kay's belief was every woman deserved to hear the Mary Kay story. The Mary Kay story. Not the Beth Gallagher story, the Trisha Bless story, the Lisa Ralph, the Becky McKnight, the Vicky Hand, not your story. They deserve to hear the Mary Kay story and the impact it's had on your life. Okay. We are the torchbearers of Mary Kay Ash's dream, and we get to pass that on. Do you know that that torch gets dimmer and dimmer if we're not passing it on? It gets brighter and brighter the more we pass it on. So Mary Kay Ash believed every person should have at least one new recruit. I don't care if you've been in 50 years and you don't have a new recruit yet. This is a brand new time period. I want you to have that mindset and to set a team building goal from tonight that you are going to share with your director. And together for the month of July, you are going to work on that. Okay. So Trisha, I'm just gonna slide this on over to you, but I wanted to share a little bit about Mary Kay Ash's heart and how she felt about team
It's
buildings.
so funny because I have those same words in my notes too.
Oh,
And
I
I
love it.
didn't have the privilege of being trained by Mary Kay herself, but I've been around long enough to know the story and some of the things that she really believed were so important. And I knew since the beginning that was something that was reinforced to me of how important it was to her that we continue to pass it on and that everyone does deserve to know what we have to offer, what the company has to offer, what she had to offer. So that's exciting. Thank you for reminding us of that. You guys, team building is fun. If that's not your thought, change your thoughts. Team building is fun. Think about your life outside of Mary Kay. Would you rather do everything in your life by yourself, or do you like to do stuff with other people at least sometimes? Right? We all like to do stuff with friends or family or our kids or our spouse or whatever. Mary Kay's the same way. It's more fun with some friends. So team building's fun. That is just my core belief about team building. And if you don't think that way about it, think about why you're team building. Because when we tend to get nervous and worried and cranked up, and maybe we don't want to do this, and we're usually thinking about ourselves, right? I'm worried about how I'm going to sound, what she's going to think of me, all that kind of stuff. And when I can set all of that aside and remember that I'm doing what, if you want to call Mary Kay Ash your boss, what my boss told me to do. Some of us need to frame it that way. Or your director, my director told me to do this. I mean, I have said those words in my life because it was how I could get past a fear. And that's okay. Sometimes you got to prop yourself up a little bit, but just work on your thought process about team building. If you're not in a place where you're like, this is something that excites me or that I think is fun or that you may never love it, it may never be your passion. I love selling this product. Don't get me wrong. I could talk about Mary Kay products all day. I think they're fabulous, but I do like to do stuff with friends. So that part's fun for me too. Okay. So the one thing, I don't know if you've ever heard of the theory of the one thing, but there's a book out there called The One Thing. If you've never read it, put it on your list. Because the premise is when you can figure out the one thing that fills you with joy and makes you get excited, and you pour 80% of your energy or more into that, it makes everything else easier or unnecessary. And so, my one thing with team building is layering. I know that if I expose her to multiple facets about our opportunity in a condensed time period, not necessarily over 10 years, that it makes it easier for me to recruit her. And sometimes half the stuff I have on my list becomes unnecessary. Or like Brie, I'm gonna use your as an example a little bit. Brie recruited herself before, and so did Patty. They're both on here. They recruited themselves before we ever even had their appointments because I had done my layering job. So what does that look like? Okay. Well, when I book somebody, hi Jude, when I book somebody for an appointment within a few days of that booking, and it kind of depends, like if I booked you for an appointment that's 2 weeks from now, I'm not going to do this tomorrow. I might do it 3 or 4 or 5 days from now. I kind of space it out depending upon the amount of time between the day I book you and the day of your appointment. But the first thing I do is I send her, I have a Google form that I use, and you can use whatever tool you want, but I use a video. I use the company's Community of Confidence video if you want to know which one I use, but it really doesn't matter. And I have it inside a Google form so she can answer a couple of questions. Actually, she doesn't even answer a couple of questions. I'll tell you what the form says in just a second. So I send it to her, and my words with that link are, hey, Sue, I'm so excited to get together with you. Would you please watch this quick video about our company? I want you to know more about the company whose products we're trying. So it's nothing about, I want you to join my team. It's nothing like that. I want to introduce her to Mary Kay. She's going to meet me. She's going to learn all about me when we're together or on video or whatever we do. But I want her to know about our company and who they are and how they feel about all of us. And so that's how I frame it. That's the context I put it in. And my form has her name, her phone number, and it says, if you were ever in a million years to consider doing something like Mary Kay, what would you have to know? So I ask her a question that she can ask, ask her to ask me a question. And then the second question on there says, if your mom or your sister or your best friend were considering doing Mary Kay, what would you want to make sure they asked me? So I take it away from her and I put it on someone that she cares about, who she's going to want to protect. And then I'm going to get her nitty gritty question that she's like, oh, whatever it is. So I get better questions, I think, from that second one than when I just ask her what she thinks. Because she'll ask me something fluffy like, do you have a product for this? Or how much does it cost to start? Or, those basic questions. But the one about her family is always the one where I get the really good question. Like, how much time does it take? How much am I going to have to sacrifice? What happens if I'm not good at it? Those kinds of second level questions that show what's really in her head. And so then I see her Google form come through, and I will reach out and I'll say, Sue, thanks so much for doing this. Oh, and I do offer a little incentive for her to do it within 24 to 48 hours of getting that link from me. I usually give her, a little gift card for like $5 off any purchase she chooses to make at her appointment. Or sometimes I'm lucky. My assistant makes very inexpensive earrings. She's also related to me, so she doesn't charge me very much. So sometimes I send them a pair of earrings in the mail. Change it up because it's fun. Anyway, so I do give them a little incentive to do it within 24 to 48 hours. And not everyone does, but more people do than don't. And I'll take that. So then after the form comes in and I can see her questions, I say, Sue, thanks so much for doing my survey. I love your questions. When today can we chat more about them? I assume she wants to talk to me today. She might tell me she can't talk to me till tomorrow or the next day, but we're going to start with today. And then if we have to move it to a different day, we will. And my reason behind that is the more time I leave between what she was thinking about and when we talk about it, the weaker that feeling gets. And recruiting is a feeling thing, you guys. It's not about the numbers, it's not about the facts of the company. It's an emotional decision. It really is. And so I want to use that emotion that came up when she was watching the video or thinking about her sister doing it or whatever it was. So I try to get a chance to talk with her prior to her appointment. And like I talked about with Patty and Bree both, we had the conversation. They asked, I started with the questions they put on the form and asked them to tell me more about that. That was all I said. I love that you asked, how much does it cost? Tell me more about that. And then I don't say anything. I let her talk. And sometimes she really does want to talk about how much it costs. That takes 2 seconds. But sometimes she talks herself through some other stuff. So I just let her go for a while and listen to see what things I can hear her maybe not saying so much. Maybe she's asking me how much it costs because her fear is that she doesn't have enough money to pay for it. you know so in the back of my mind, if I can hear that's what she's kind of, she's already kind of put it in some context about how their family's struggling to make ends meet, or she just lost her job or things like that, I might be thinking, okay, so there's a financial pressure on her. So what ideas, what examples can I give her from working with other people or that I've heard my director talk about, that might help her, right? So I'm listening, but I'm also thinking about because it's not going to be facts. What stories can I tell her either from my own experience or what I've heard from others in Mary Kay that will tie to what she's really saying to me? And I just keep asking her, what else do you want to know? What else do you want to know? What else can I tell you? I probably say that 10 times in some conversations. And then they finally say, I think that's all I want to know. I say, great. And then you have to close this deal, you guys. Just like when we're selling product, team building's the same way. You got to close the deal. You got to say, is there any reason why you want to give it a try? Join my team and see what happens. And some of them say, I don't know, I got to think about it or pray about it or ask my husband or whatever. And that's where that layering thing really kicks in, you guys. Okay, cool. Let's get together for your appointment and we can revisit it then. So I pressure her to talk to me again before the appointment. I say, great, then let's revisit it again at your appointment. Now you've got some information. You can noodle it a little bit, and I'll see you on Tuesday when we get together for your facial, whatever it is. Okay. Then at the appointment, like always, I tell my story, tell my little eye story about how I got into Mary Kay and why I got into Mary Kay, because I'm cheap and like a deal. That's my eye story. I had two daughters to buy Mary Kay for, plus myself, and I needed a lot because I had bad skin when I was introduced to Mary Kay. So I decided it better be on sale all the time. That's literally why I joined Mary Kay. That, and they bribed me with a tote bag. Besides the starter kit bag, they gave me an extra one. I this is like a bad thing to say, but I'm kind of a sassy girl word. I love a good bag. I'll do a lot of things for one. Anyway, so then I tell my eye story at my appointment. And I really just talk about what Mary Kay, like Beth was saying, what Mary Kay brought into my life. Not about money, not about having a side gig, not even really about saving money, even though that was my driving force, because that's not what I got at all. I mean, I did, but that's not what I found at all when I actually got into Mary Kay and tried it out. It was so much more in that. And now, for me, because I've been in it a long time, I can talk about all the phases of our life that we've been through. When my kids were little, I was able to be a work at home mom. When my kids were in high school, I was that mom that could drive everybody to and from practice and have a place for the kids to go after school, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now we're empty nesters. My husband has health issues. I'm able to be his caretaker. He had 9 doctor's appointments a couple of weeks ago. If I'd have still been in my regular job, they wouldn't have let me off of work, that kind of thing. So just whatever your story is, or if you don't feel like you have any kind of story, first of all, talk to your director because you do. But second of all, if you need to fill in some pieces because you've only been in Mary Kay for a couple of months, she can help you with stories from her life or other people that you guys know that you can say, and then my friend Darla, she was this, that, and the next thing. So you can use other people's stories in your storytelling too. But that's really what an iStory is about. Okay. It's not about rattling off a bunch of numbers. People don't care about that. They're really looking in the mirror at themselves anyway. Then we do their appointment. I always do some kind of marketing thing. Try to make it a game, something fun. Don't talk at them some more. If you can find a way to ask them questions and give them things, that works better, at least in my experience. And then asking her in your individual close at the end, just like you ask her to buy product, ask her to join your team. You got to keep them on an even playing field. We're pretty confident asking her to take home that miracle set, right? Because we love it. We know it works. We believe in it. You can get your belief about this opportunity to that same place, and you can ask her that same question. And you guys don't think that if she buys a filled roll-up bag, she won't join your team. I absolutely bought a filled roll-up bag the first time and joined her team at my second appointment. And don't feel bad about that. That's how it should be. That's totally fine. She can spend I spent $350 on product that night, and I joined her team 2 weeks later and did a star inventory because I knew it was good product. I knew I wanted to use it. I didn't think I was ever going to sell a dime. Turned out to be okay. So don't get all caught up in your feelings about that. She's an adult. She can make a decision about what's best for her. Let her make her decisions, but you got to ask her. You just have to. And then if, at her individual consultation, she's still not really ready, I kind of go with a feeling there. If she's told me, no, this is just not the right time for me, great. She goes on my later list. If she's still going, I don't know, I got to think about it, I book her for coffee. I'm like, you know what? Let me treat you to a cup of coffee. And then by then you'll have made up your mind about all the things that I should have told you that I didn't. There isn't anything, but she might think of something. And then she's like, okay. And she lets me buy her a cup of coffee. And either she signs up then, or she's finally ready to say, this is not for me right now. And you guys, I will tell you, I think it was Bree the other day. I had a customer named Lisa. I asked Lisa every quarter for 7 years to join my team. 7 years. Because I went to see her every quarter when the new catalog came out so she could see all the new products in person. And she always spent $200-300 every time I came over. So every time I came over, I asked her again, well, she told me no for 7 years. Then one quarter, when it was a summertime quarter, I'll never forget it, went to her house in June. And she's like, okay. I just kind of sat there. I was like, wait, what? Did you say yes? She's like, yeah, what do I have to do? I'm like, oh, okay, great. And she's a great member on our team, a great servicer of her customers in her local area for a long time. It was a lot of fun. So no doesn't always mean never ever. That's the other thing I learned along the way. It doesn't mean never ever. It means not right now for a lot of people. So don't have to cross her off your list forever. Maybe you don't bring it up for 90 till 90, 120 or 6 months from now. And then there's an event or a guest speaker that's doing something. And you're like, I really should have Beth hear her story. Because Beth might say something will say something totally different than me that might resonate with Sue so much better than my story will. Because you're not going to resonate with everyone. That's just a fact. Just like not everyone is our best friend in the world. That's okay. But sometimes they hear something else that just amps up that trust factor a little bit. And then they're like, okay, all right, I'll try it. Okay, that's what I wanted to share, Beth.
Wow, wow, wow. That was so good. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I heard you talk about that 4-point recruiting plan in there. That was Mary Kay Ash talked about the 4-point recruiting plan. You know, you get to that party and you're like, "Oh my gosh, here's my, why story, a little bit about me." And I love the fact that it wasn't about the numbers. It's what has it done? People want that emotional connection. And, we select people at this party because we've asked the hostess who's coming. Tell me a little bit about everybody who's coming. And just like Trisha said, you have listening ears. God gifted us with 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen 2 times as much as you speak. And, that share with everyone, just share with everyone because you don't know who the yes will come from. And I'm going to kind of give you some background here. I'm one of my top strengths is strategy. And so I love to use the phrase when we're eyeball to eyeball, knee to knee, toe to toe. I love to say, Trisha, tell me a little bit about yourself so that I can listen to her. I know you, but just tell me about you. What would you want me to know? And I will have you write that question down. Tell me a little bit about yourself. And then underneath it, I want you to write the letter D on a line, the letter I a couple lines down, the letter S a couple lines down, and the letter C a couple lines after that. Okay. And I'm going to D, I, S, and C. D is a dominant personality. I is an influencing personality. S is a very steady personality. And C is very conscientious. They're very numbers, very detail oriented. And so when you ask the question, when you are talking with someone, tell me a little bit about yourself. A D personality is going to go, well, I graduated from this and I've got this degree and I've got this. And they're going to tell you all their accomplishments. Okay. They're just going to spew accomplishments and then they're going to shut up. They really will. It'll be bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, and then they're silent. And if that's not your personality, you don't know what to do with that. You're like, oh, can we talk about your kids? Why? If you're an ass, they don't really. Why? Why would I talk about my kids? So anyway, they will tell you all their accomplishments and then they're silent. That tells you right there, you will give them about a 5 minute what they need to know, and they'll make a decision, and it will be quick. They're decision makers. Dominant personalities are. They want to know how much does it cost to get started typically. My other question is then, if I only had 5 more minutes to tell you about Mary Kay, what would be the most important things for you to know? And Trisha really alluded to that too through her Google form and getting together with people that way. Oh, tell me more about that. Tell me more about that. That's what you tell me a little bit about yourself, dominant personality, bullet point on their accomplishments. You're going to do about a 5 minute interview. 5 more minutes. What do you need to know to make a decision? Well, I need this and I need this and I need this. That's the only information you give to them. They really don't need anything else. There are people out there that are immediate decision makers. Okay, so now let's go to the I personality. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Well, I was born and raised in Partyville, and I went to high school there, and I was on the cheer team. And grab your water, drink your coffee. She is going to talk. She's going to tell you her life story. But my friends, she is an influencer. Okay. She loves people. She probably gathers people. She probably is in a million organizations because she just thrives on all of that. Okay. Yes, it's a little bit longer. She needs to know, oh my gosh, did you see my friend Trisha? She has got this wall of ribbons behind her. And like when she goes and she picks out a gown for seminar, or Lisa Rout, my friend, she is like number one, number two, number three, all the time in Court of Sales. She has got the coolest gowns. I mean, last year she came out and it looked like this big bubble gown as she floated across the water. I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't worn a gorgeous gown like that since high school. And all of a sudden people are like, I want to wear a gown. I want to dress up like prom. Sign me up. Okay. They want to be in it for the sisterhood. They're just feeling that. So that's and I will just be like, "What?" She's probably pretty impulsive too. I might be speaking from experience on that one. Oh, okay. Yeah, uh-huh. So then Vicky's laughing in her chair. I see her. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now let's go to the S personality, very steady. You ask her the question, tell me a little bit about yourself. And she's going to say, well, Vicky, I'm going to use you. I'm married to Roger. We've been married for over 20 years, 25 years. And let's see, I have Jenny and I have, and she's going to name all of her children and all of her grandchildren and everything that they're a part of. There's nothing wrong with this. Okay. But let me tell you, a lot of times with your S personalities, when she starts to tell you that, and maybe you're doing some prelim with her, you can be like, oh my goodness, you would be one of my 5 husband wife interviews this month. You would help me qualify in that category. Can we sit down with your husband? Okay. So a lot of times, because that is the one of the biggest objections. I mean, directors, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you have an S personality, usually after an interview, she goes, "I need to go home and talk to my husband." So you can overcome that by going, now, will your husband help you in this decision if you were to choose to do this? Would you need to have a conversation with him? Oh, probably. Great. You could qualify as one of my 5 that I can do husband wives. Okay. Or 10 or whatever you put a number to. My director wants me to get together with a husband wife. You'd be perfect. So get together. Okay. Because the man will look at her and go, this is a great opportunity. Sign her up, even if she's scared on the inside. Okay. It happens all the time. So study, very steady. They might need a couple of interviews. They might need to be a hostess 3 or 4 times. Vicki Hen came to probably 10 meetings or more. I think she wanted to know she was safe with us and that we were the same week in and week out and week in and week out before she signed her beauty consultant agreement. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so that's tell me a little bit about yourself for an S. Tell me a little bit about yourself for a C. They will always come back with, what would you like to know? A C does not want to give you wrong information. An I drives a C nuts. Okay. So if I have driven you nuts at any time during this goal girl thing, Darla is not laughing. I apologize for that too, because sometimes those details just don't even cross my mind. I've gotten better in my 36 years, but oh, I've thought about that too. Okay. Now this is just fun. And recruiting is fun. Team building is fun, just like Trisha started out tonight. That's the mindset to have. So tell me a little bit about yourself with the C. What do you want to know? So she's not wrong. You will probably layer her with many different things. You could hand her the Mary Kay autobiography. Are you a reader? Would you like to read about Mary Kay? This is our founder, and she started this company. It's amazing. You could hand that out to people too. And so there's every single one of these you want on your team so you have such a well balanced team. I love, love, love my C people because they catch the mistakes I never catch. I love my steady people because they are there and they are loyal. I love my I people because they bring in energy, and my D people are like, start on time, end on time, done, done, done. Okay, wonderful. So are you all kind of feeling this? Like you're thinking of people probably right now that you're like, oh my gosh, that's why. Okay. So yeah, you can figure that out. So here's what I want to tell you about that though. If you're looking at a goal, we offer to everyone. Okay. We offer to everyone. But if you are in, like you go, I'm going to gold medal every month, and you want gold medal right now, you're looking for D's and I's. Your S's and C's will come in August or September. Okay, because now they're ready. Now they've heard that. But right now, this month, D's and I's. Okay, who are those dominant people that make decisions quickly? Who are the influencing people who are like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to this? Sounds like fun. Don't know what I'm getting myself into, but I'm gonna have fun. It's all good. You'll train me. So it is all about that. And then the S's and C's are like, oh, she was right. I really could use this as some extra income. And the C's are like, I've read everything now. I feel totally confident about this. I've got all the details I need. I'm going to sign that beauty consultant agreement. My friends, did you know that that link, I have the link for agreements right on my phone so I can text it out to people. I can Facebook message it out to people. They have that link. That link never expires. They can click on it and go at any time. Make sure you're sending out links every single week to people. I don't know if this is for you or not, but I just wanted to have this in your hands. Okay. So get that out to people. I'm just going to kind of wrap up here unless Trisha, you got anything else you want to add in? All good. Okay. Um, get to the mindset. You heard about the mindset of recruiting is fun, but get to the mindset that everyone deserves to hear the Mary Kay story. Everyone. My friends, there are people going to bed tonight with broken hearts. People going to bed tonight that wish they had a sisterhood like this. People going to bed tonight that are praying for something so they don't have to send their child to daycare anymore. Okay. I know Lisa Ralph does grandma days during the week. I do grandma Wednesdays. Okay. So this is, you get me no makeup and t-shirt tonight because it's grandma Wednesdays. Everyone deserves to be able to create the life they dream of. They deserve to be around women that will uplift them and not tear them down. They deserve to be around in a company that celebrates them and doesn't tolerate them. That's why we have to share with everyone and get to the mindset that it doesn't matter if they say yes, they say no, they say later. It doesn't matter. My friends, you may have stopped asking because your heart got hurt. And if I can dial you back to Jane Langemeyer on Sunday night, who said, grieve the past, let it go. Ask everyone. If it's not her timing yet, you're still going to stay connected with her through this plan because you loved on her. Okay. And when you really need that one more person, they will come in. My friends, we have had a year in my life, but I knew this was my year to do Triple Star again. I needed 5 more people in June. I needed 3 more people 3 days before I was leaving on June 28th. And I was messaging people. I probably messaged 50 people on June 27th. My husband came home early from work that night. I was all down to the last person. I did not know who that would be, okay, at all. And he goes, let's go out to eat. And I'm like, okay, well, the bar that we like to go to is a very dive bar. They only serve till 8 and it's like 20 to 8. I said, let me call Sheila and make sure she's still service if we get there after 8. Okay. So, yep, she would. She comes out after serving everybody. She's the owner, she's the cook. And she goes, what was that text message you sent me about needing one more person by noon tomorrow? I was like, I still need one person by noon tomorrow. And she looked at me and she goes, I'll do it, but I can't get it done till Sunday because I've got a big catering thing tomorrow. I said, that's fine. We have till Monday, but I'm leaving town tomorrow. You'll have to do everything on your own. She was not a problem. My friends, when you have loved on people and you love them where they're at, whether they're purchasing from you, whether they're joining your team, whether they're referring people to you, they will support you when you need it. She goes, I love this product. You know that. I was like, yeah. She orders like $200-300 and I've asked it. No, but because I needed the one, she said yes. So my friends, love people. Mary Kay began this company on people and love, not profit and loss. And let's always, always, always remember that and make this your best team building year ever, ever, ever. I love you all. Trisha, bless. Thank you for bringing it home tonight. Woo! I want that Google form, so I'll have to talk to your assistant about it.
I say, I think you know a girl who can hook you up.
I think I can. I think I can. Thanks, Vicki. I am just excited to do triple star. And when you just know that when I do those things, it's because I want to learn and be able to teach other people how to do it themselves. So, my friends, have a great night. Tomorrow, go live in the group because all of your sisters want to see you. Okay. Trisha will be bringing her hostess coaching on Friday morning at 7 a.m. at our coffee Zoom. So have a great one, everybody.